I'm a ghostly spirit of JJ. Boo! Ow! Oh, ah. Oh, that was my attempt to scare you. That was my attempt at a prank. Oops. Happy Halloween! A very misunderstood holiday. A lot of people think this is a day to celebrate evil spirits and death or violence and scaring the piss out of people. That last part is true, but Halloween is not celebrating death or evil spirits. Halloween is a celebration of life. Let's talk about the name Halloween. Halloween is a contraction, 2 or 3 words squished together to make one word, like can't, or won't, or don't. Halloween needs the apostrophe. That's because Halloween comes from the full phrase All Hallows Eve. Hallows means spirits. Not evil spirits, not deadly spirits, just spirits. Actually, the spirits of people who have died recently, like our family members. The spirits that are still walking around the earth and have not transferred on to the next life. And Eve means evening, or the night before, just like Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. So that's where Halloween comes from. All Hallows Eve gets squished into Halloween. All Hallows Eve, the name, definitely comes from the Christian holidays, like All Saints' Day, All Souls' Day. I believe that's celebrated on November 1st or 2nd. And that's the day when the spirits do travel to the next life. They move on to the next world. All Hallows Eve is the night of the dead. It's the last night for the spirits to join us, to be with us. And we have a big giant celebration and a party to remember the recently departed. Now, the name definitely comes from the Christian origin of the holidays, but the customs do not. The customs and traditions come from the Celtic and Gaelic cultures, which is from Ireland and Scotland. And that's where my family comes from. So this is why Halloween is very important in my family. It's not a holiday. It's not a religious holiday. It's not even a holiday at all. We don't get the day off for Halloween. Except this year, which is on a Saturday. Woohoo! Party! So let's talk about the customs and traditions of Halloween. I'll have to put up some images and some visual content in another post so you can see them. But let's just talk about the words first. A jack-o'-lantern. Jack-o'-lantern. Nobody's really sure where the O or the jack comes from. But the lantern means it's a light. We put a candle inside a pumpkin and cut the pumpkin into a face shape. Usually a scary face, like a monster or a demon. And this is for 2 purposes. We have to scare away the bad spirits on this night. There's spirits roaming around the earth for one final night, and there might be some scary bad ones. We have to scare them away. But it's also to help guide the friendly spirits, guide them to our home for one night so they can find their house where they used to live and join the party for one night. Or to help them guide their way down the street off into the afterlife, into the next world. Costumes. Very common for Halloween. We wear costumes. Not because of cosplay, not because it's fashion and fun to wear costumes, but I think this is because we want to blend in with the spirits. The spirits come and join us for one final night to have a big party with food and fire and fireworks. And if everyone's wearing a costume, we can't tell who the spirits are and who the human beings who are still alive. And everyone joins together for one final night and big celebration and big party. That's what costumes are for. Trick-or-treating. Another very misunderstood custom. This one's quite modern, only about 100 years old, and it's only done in United States and Canada, I believe. And this is when children dress up in costumes and they walk around the neighborhood, walk around the street. And they do go door to door and they knock on the door and they say, trick or treat. They don't say, candy please. I've heard some other countries doing that, but that's not what they actually say. And they don't wait till the door opens. They just knock on the door say trick or treat and wait. It's the house choice. They have two choices. They can give a treat, open the door, and pass out candy, wrapped candies to the kids, or play a trick on them. And the trick is like a joke or a prank to scare them. This doesn't mean scare them to make them run away so you don't have to give them a treat. It's to scare them in a good way, in a fun way, to remind us that we're still alive, to get that heart beating so that we can feel being alive. It's to show us that it's natural to be scared of death and the unknown and spirits and things that we don't know about. It's totally natural to be scared of this. It's not so common to give the trick anymore. Some houses do this. They'll decorate their house. They'll set up a tour or a haunted house in their home for kids to walk through. And there'll be surprises like ghosts and skeletons falling from the ceiling. And surprisingly, kids aren't scared of this. They never get worried or cry so much. They know it's a joke. They know it's fun. And there's spooky music and scary jokes and pranks. And that's the whole point of Halloween, to remind us that we're still alive and it's natural to be scared of this. Other countries have very, very similar traditions and holidays. Hello, Mexico, my Mexican students. They have the Day of the Dead, November 1st or 2nd, same time. Sounds very similar to Night of the Spirits, doesn't it? It's the same tradition. Definitely different fashion, different food. The costumes look different. Google that yourself if you want to see it. Or watch the movie Coco. Beautiful, cute little movie all about the Day of the Dead. Or Dia de los Muertos. Let's try that again. Dia de los Muertos. Kind of okay, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Other cultures like Japan have the Obon festival, October 13th to 15th. And this is the same tradition, celebrating the final night or the final nights for the spirits to pass on to the next world. They also light candles in a little boat, and they float the boat down the river or a lake. Other countries have the Lantern Festival, where they put a candle in a kind of kite or a kind of balloon that floats away. And they do this like 1,000 different candles and balloons that float away. Very similar traditions. Not about evil, not about monsters or death. Halloween and the Day of the Dead is a celebration of life. Remembering our family, remembering our friends, saying goodbye to them for the one final night they have left in our world. Halloween is a celebration of life.